Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're taking on a pretty complex and I think vital mission. We're diving deep into the high stakes and frankly really confusing world of modern attraction and committed relationships.
And we're pulling from sources that, they rarely speak to each other.
Exactly. On one side you have these deep therapeutic insights.
And on the other, you've got these highly tactical, sometimes provocative guides on, emotional influence and attraction.
That's it.
So we've really got two very different playbooks. You have the psychological heavyweights, the therapists, the counselors, who are focused on sustainability, self-reflection.
All about achieving that radical vulnerability.
Right. And then you have the strategic playbooks, the kind you find on channels focused on stoic psychology or attraction dynamics.
Yeah.
They're all about triggering instantaneous desire.
Emotional obsession even.
Yeah, through calculated moves and distance. So our deep dive today is really to understand the profound paradoxes that pop up when you try to navigate love using both these blueprints.
And those paradoxes, they start right away, don't they? With just the initial expectations we have for a partnership today.
Oh, absolutely.
The sources all agree we are asking more of one person than any generation before us. I mean, think about it. Our communities are more fractured. Traditional institutions offer less belonging.
And where do we pour all that longing?
Right onto our partner. One therapist actually calls this a frenzy of romantic consumerism.
Wow.
Where we're just endlessly comparing our partner to some idealized, curated image. It makes comparison the absolute thief of joy.
It's an unprecedented expectation load. I mean, just look at the language we use, the soulmate.
Right.
Historically, the whole concept of the soulmate, that referred to God, to the divine.
One thing that provides ultimate meaning.
Right.
Completeness.
Exactly. And that expectation has now been transferred in its entirety to a single human being.
So we're not just looking for a partner anymore. We're looking for a personal messiah.
Precisely. From this one person, we expect everything. Wholeness, security, belonging, profound meaning, ecstatic fulfillment, transcendence.
It's an impossible list.
It places an immense, often crushingly impossible burden on the modern couple. We want a partner who's predictable enough to secure our future, but mysterious enough to endlessly fuel our desire. That tension, that's modern love.
Okay, let's unpack that central conflict right now, because it really does govern everything that follows. This paradox of desire. We crave security, comfort, safety, all the things of committed love. But desire needs something far more volatile.
The therapeutic view on this is crystal clear. Love thrives on certainty, on shared history, familiarity, that's a bedrock of safety. But desire thrives on otherness, novelty, and psychological risk. It needs space. It needs mystery.
Esther Perel talks about this a lot, right?
Famously. She says that to reignite desire in a long-term relationship, you have to be willing to let go of the illusion of safety and certainty and choose thriving over just surviving.
Surviving versus thriving. That is such a key distinction. It's the difference between just cohabitating and actually connecting. But what does that really look like when a relationship is, established and comfortable? Everything feels known.
That's the challenge. The sources point out that in a committed relationship, everything that's truly spontaneous has probably already happened.
First kiss, first secret.
Exactly, all those firsts. So if you wait for that magic to just spontaneously reappear, you're going to wait forever.
So intimacy has to become intentional.
It has to become premeditated, willful, conscious, and creative. It requires deliberate effort.
So you have to actively create these new spaces, physical or emotional, where your familiar partner can become a little unfamiliar again.
That's it. You have to create the space for it. Anticipation is the key ingredient here. It's described as the mortar of desire.
The mortar of desire. I like that.
Without it, you know exactly what you're going to get. And that predictability, while it's comforting, is absolutely fatal to desire.
So you have to risk losing them, even just for a moment.
You do. By investing in your own life, your own passions, your separate interests, so you're not just merging into one identity.
Okay, so that's the therapeutic road. Intentional creation of newness and risk, but together. Now we have to contrast this with the strategic playbook, because it addresses the same paradox, but it uses very different tools. They also get that predictability kills attraction, but their solution isn't shared risk.
No, it's calculated tension
Yeah.
and control.
Yeah.
The strategic viewpoint treats attraction as this purely psychological and energetic process. It's often, divorced from logic or long-term strategy. For a man, success here means embodying presence, direction, and quiet confidence.
What they call leadership energy.
Leadership energy, or an unshakable frame.
Okay, let's unpack leadership energy. Practically, how does that actually translate from an idea into an interaction? Is this about being dominant, controlling?
No, and the sources are really specific about this. It is not about being bossy or controlling of your partner. It's about being deeply in control of yourself.
Okay.
It shows up as a man who knows where he's going. He has ambition, drive. He's chasing something bigger than the relationship itself. And that self-contained fire is magnetic. It signals that his happiness is not dependent on how the interaction goes.
So the attraction isn't built on compatibility, really. It's built on witnessing purpose.
Self-contained purpose, absolutely. And this leads us to the most critical tactical trigger they talk about.
Which is?
Scarcity and detachment. According to this view, masculine energy doesn't chase, it attracts.
Right.
So when you pull back a little, or you speak less, or you maintain that unshakable frame, you are deliberately creating a psychological gap.
And the woman is left with uncertainty.
And her mind starts obsessing, starts chasing the resolution to the mystery that you created with your distance.
This is a huge philosophical conflict right here.
It is.
The therapeutic path says share your inner life, create newness with vulnerability. The strategic path says protect your inner life and create newness with distance and control.
You're intentionally using emotional distance to generate tension. You're forcing the other person to fill that space with curiosity and to chase.
And that's the tension we have to hold. I mean, the strategic approach is probably incredibly effective at starting desire,
Oh, for sure.
but you have to wonder about its sustainability. If you build attraction on the idea of being unavailable or mysterious, how do you then pivot to the vulnerability that's required for long-term love?
Which demands you share your maps.
Right. It feels like you're setting up a false identity that at some point has to collapse.
That's the risk. The goal, maybe, is to find a synthesis. Be that self-possessed person with direction who doesn't chase. But then, once the connection's there,
You apply the therapeutic principle.
you apply the principles of intentional shared novelty to keep the desire going.
That complexity leads us perfectly into nonverbal communication, because both schools, the therapeutic and the strategic, they both agree that what people say often masks what they truly want.
Especially when attraction is in the mix.
Yeah.
Desire is just inherently vulnerable. And because vulnerability is both a sanctuary and a battlefield, desire often reveals itself in these uncontrollable nonverbal ways.
The person might hide their feelings with words.
But their nervous system betrays them every time.
So what specific nonverbal signals should you, the listener, be looking for when the body betrays the mind's defenses?
You're looking for these subtle signs of nervous excitement, especially when she's talking to you or near you. When someone's subtly aroused, their nervous system tries to self-regulate that energy.
And it has to leak out somewhere.
It has to leak out. So you look for fidgeting in sensitive areas like touching the neck or the collarbone, rubbing a wrist, or shifting the thighs. The tactile sources call this psychomotor agitation.
That sounds very technical. What does psychomotor agitation look like in plain language?
It's movement that's caused by contained stimulation. It's not boredom fidgeting. It often shows up in the lower body, like a slight rhythmic bounce of the foot, or constantly crossing and uncrossing the legs.
So the body is ready for action, but the social setting demands stillness.
Exactly. So that kinetic energy gets contained in these small, localized movements. It signals high interest and arousal.
I remember the sources also detailing how the voice changes, and that feels far more intimate than a physical tick.
Absolutely. The voice is an immediate barometer of arousal. When a woman is interested, her voice often softens. It slows down, becomes noticeably lower in pitch.
Almost breathy.
Yeah, more intimate. The sources describe this shift as foreplay in disguise, because she's unconsciously signaling safety and closeness with her vocal tone.
Okay, now let's talk about denial, because this is where attraction can be completely misinterpreted.
Especially by men who are waiting for explicit logical confirmation.
Right.
Yes. So, women often express attraction through this complex mechanism of testing, teasing, or denial. Phrases like, "You're so annoying," or "You're trouble."
Or the classic, "You're not like most guys I've met."
That one. These are often, in reality, confessions. They signal that the man has successfully crossed her emotional walls and is triggering this deep, often unfamiliar interest.
Hold on, we need to apply some friction here. If a man is taught that you're annoying is a secret code for "I like you," doesn't that open the door to misinterpreting genuine boundaries or pushing past real discomfort?
That's a crucial distinction, and the nuance here is essential. A truly grounded person, whether they're following their therapeutic or the strategic playbook has to be sensitive to the intent and the context.
Okay.
The strategic sources are clear on this. A man should never ignore an explicit boundary. This denial code is about playful testing within an already established comfortable dynamic.
So if she sounds legitimately uncomfortable,
Grounded man backs off
Femi.
immediately. The skill is in distinguishing between a light test and a true retraction.
That's a key piece of information. It's about respecting boundaries while still recognizing the playful tension in flirtation.
And that leads to the explicitly coded invitation to intimacy. Women, often because of social expectations, they protect their public reputation by avoiding a direct, unequivocal invitation.
So what does that invitation sound like?
It's usually a way to grant permission while also distancing herself from the consequences. Statements like, I don't usually do this.
Late, but I'm having fun.
Classic examples. The sources suggest a grounded man understands this ambiguity as a coded invitation. He proceeds confidently but gently.
Respecting her need to save face.
Exactly. Without judging her for the apparent contradiction. It allows her to participate without feeling exposed.
You know, this entire deep dive, whether we're looking at intentional intimacy, scarcity tactics, or decoding communication, it consistently points back to one thing. Personal accountability and internal self-mastery. It's not about finding the perfect person.
That is the unifying theory across all of these sources. The power of self-reflection is the foundation for gaining agency. When people feel perpetually stuck in bad relationship cycles, it's because the story rules them.
They're no longer authoring their own narrative.
Exactly.
We see this so often in therapeutic notes, people repeating the same harmful relationship patterns. Why do we unconsciously choose partners who are similar to people who hurt us?
Because the misery of the familiar is preferred over the misery of uncertainty. We would rather live inside a painful story we know and understand than step into a space of truly unknown happiness. The unconscious mind is always trying to resolve old conflicts with new actors.
So gaining agency is about recognizing that pattern.
Recognizing it and consciously changing your own inputs.
So how do we operationalize that agency within a relationship? I mean, we can't change our partner.
But you can influence the dynamic.
Yeah.
You have complete control over what you put your attention on and how you show up. If you want a different result in a relationship, you have to change your own dance step.
Your dance steps.
Yeah. And when you fundamentally change your part of the pattern, your response, your energy, your expectations, your partner has two choices. They either have to adapt and change their steps to match your new rhythm,
Or they leave the dance floor.
or they leave the dance floor entirely. That realization is profoundly empowering.
And this sense of profound internal agency, that's the only true source of the unshakable frame we talked about earlier, isn't it? It's not an act.
It's not active control. It's an outcome of inner work.
Absolutely. And this connects directly to what true self-esteem is.
How so?
Well, the strategic playbook uses detachment to sort of fake self-esteem, which creates an attractive tension. But true internal mastery makes those tactics unnecessary.
Why?
Because genuine self-esteem is founded on accountability without shame.
Explain that distinction. Accountability without shame.
That sounds radical.
It is. It's the ability to take a full inventory of your flaws, your mistakes, the nasty, harmful, destructive, cruel stuff you're capable of, without letting that knowledge sink you into debilitating shame.
So you don't hide your flaws, you own them.
You own them. The quote that just summarizes this whole integration is, I am flawed, but I can still hold myself in high regard.
That's powerful. When you achieve that level of integration, you don't need scarcity tactics or external validation anymore.
Because your self-worth is independent of the relationship's outcome.
Correct. So the vulnerability required by the therapist becomes manageable because showing your flaws isn't a threat to your identity anymore.
And the quiet confidence demanded by the strategist is no longer calculated. It's just who you are.
This deep dive has shown us a tremendous synthesis. Whether you approach modern relationships through the lens of a clinical therapist demanding radical emotional inventory, or
strategist demanding self-control and detachment.
right, ultimate success relies not on finding the right person, but on achieving internal mastery and profound personal accountability.
And the challenge for you, the listener, is integrating these two competing needs. The therapeutic perspective demands shared vulnerability and radical presence to sustain growth.
Meanwhile, the strategic perspective emphasizes control and distance to fuel desire.
Both are striving for the same goal, a vibrant, meaningful relationship. But their methods are polar opposites.
So what does this all mean for you, navigating love today, trying to fulfill that impossible soulmate expectation we started with?
The tension is the work. Given that desire relies on psychological mystery and otherness, the long-term intimacy demands you fully share your complete, messy interior life. Ask yourself this provocative final thought. How much of my inner life can I share without sacrificing the psychological mystery that fuels desire? And where does my partner need to step forward to meet me in that uncertainty? Learning to sustain that negotiation, that is the complex, beautiful, and sometimes agonizing art of modern love.